Welcome to the Resonate Church Missoula podcast. This podcast exists to equip and encourage the members of Resonate Church to get the gospel to people, people to community, and community to mission. Thanks for listening. In this episode, I sat down with Matt Dotterweich to talk about his experience at Capture the Flag as a young adult. Enjoy. All right, Matt. Well, we just finished up Capture the Flag. It's a good time. A couple hundred, probably 400. What do you think?
Yeah, no, there's so many people out there.
400 people out there? Yeah, it was a bit of a madhouse. And you've been reffing this event for a few years.
I have.
You're a veteran ref for Capture the Flag. But I wanted to ask you, you were a student for a long time, you were involved in student ministry for a long time, and then you've been out of student ministry for a handful of years now.
Yeah.
And this is kind of probably one of the few times that you dip back in and get to see it. So what is it like kind of coming out of the adult family world and then seeing this again?
Totally.
How's that been?
It's definitely an adjustment. You go from spending time with your I just put my 2-year-old to bed, and then I come out here with 18-year-olds, and I'm like, this is just different. I haven't thought about this kind of thing in years. But right. I think the biggest thing that I came to swing dancing last night, and then I did Capture the Flag tonight. And the biggest thing that's jumped out to me is just the student involvement that we've had compared to other years. And I think I've always been curious about COVID and how that kind of impacted the growth of our church in that sense, where we had that freshman class in 2019 and then 2020. I feel like now we're kind of getting to the other side of that, where the students are really starting to take things by the reins. They've been around enough, and we've been able to do ministry the way that we've known how to do it, kind of pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of been something that's interesting. But just talking to you and Austin about the meetings you guys do in the morning and just who shows up to that is really encouraging as a young adult, and just knowing that when you see the students passionate about doing ministry, as a young adult, you want to kind of rally around them in the best ways that you can.
Right. They've had a couple dozen students every morning join them early in the morning to tell stories and gather data and then pray together. Yeah. And we've never had anything like that. It's been so many years of the staff having to initiate everything. Right. Yeah, it's been a huge difference, the amount of student leader buy-in we've had this year. Mm-hmm. That's come up in every conversation I've had. It's been interesting to watch the COVID generation get past us now. Yeah, the freshmen here, they would have been 8th graders, 7th, 8th, maybe 9th graders during COVID. Yeah. And so they didn't have those formative years in the middle of COVID. It was a little bit earlier for them. And the social difference is night and day. Mm-hmm. The freshmen right now are night and day different than 2 or 3 years ago when they could hardly hold a conversation. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun to get to reconnect with, or to get to connect with students that can actually talk to you, and want to be involved, and want to,
and have interests. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, and their spiritual interest is high. They're not thrown off by us announcing that we're a church. This is a church event. You should come to more events. That they're not weirded out by that.
Right.
Which has been really encouraging.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool. So as a young adult with a family, what would you want other families in our church to hear about what's going on the student side? I
think just showing up and participating, especially with the students that you do have connections to that are the student leaders. When I talk to Phil and Nevin and Jack, and they're not really some of those guys aren't students anymore, but they're around students so often. Right. But just connecting with them, and I don't know, I feel like it kind of shows your support for them in a way. Right. And maybe they voice that sometimes, but maybe they haven't. But I can assume they would feel that way, and I don't know. But I think I don't know. And the other thing too is I remember being really insecure when I was a senior in college about all these freshmen, I got to be cool for these freshmen. But I'm I just don't care anymore. I just talk to whatever. Right. Yeah, I have noticed that in myself over the years. I definitely feel more confident talking to anyone I run into and connecting with them. And so that's been kind of a funny shift,
when you're a referee at Capture the Flag, you're going to get yelled at by some 18-year-olds. Yeah. And it just doesn't bother you. And you just know what to do with it. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Where it used to. Yeah, I think on both sides, I think probably our young adults underestimate how encouraging they are to students, and I think our students underestimate how encouraging they are to our young adults. When our young adults get to come see this kind of thing and see the energy, it's such a big blessing to them. We actually had, this was yesterday at swing dancing, there were some connections there was an older couple that came just to check it out.
Right.
They've heard about our ministry through Austin Luke. He went and preached at a church down the Bitterroot.
Oh, yeah.
And they came just to check it out, see what's going on. And they've been in the church for 50 years, older couple, and they were just blown away by what's going on here. Like
That's
they're
cool.
it's the coolest thing they've ever seen in the church world, to have young people, college students, excited, getting involved, not afraid of doing something with the church. I think we take it for granted because it's the water we swim in, but it's such a unique thing.
Totally.
And when you're a family with little kids, you start to realize how unique it is.
Totally.
Because you don't get to see it.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that as a young adult, and I would say this to our other young adults and see if they're related to it, but as you kind of phase out, you get a little bit, you graduate, and then now you have kids, and you're a few more years removed. There's something, I don't know what it is, but what happens to your memory or something, where your life just starts coming at you quick.
Right.
Your kids start growing fast. You haven't talked to friends that you used to talk to all the time in years, and you're like, wait, what is going on? Like, it feels like you're reacting to life and you're not being proactive anymore. And that does something because when I come back on campus, and obviously I did a year of school here, and then a few years of student ministry, like coming here most days a week, and so it brings you back, and then it like rejogs a bunch of memories in your brain. It kind of helps you remember why you do this, and why our church is special. And then you see like, oh yeah, there's a couple hundred kids out here that are hopefully getting connected and in the gospel preached to them. And so I think just showing up and being a part of it and participating a little bit is really helpful and like fires you up a little bit. And I think it's just a good thing to try to start. And it's the tough part, because if it's really easy to get home after working 10 hours a day and thinking, I've been outside, I just put Luca down, I have like 2 hours.
Right.
What am I going to do with it? And it's the only time of the year that it is like, okay, let's go,
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell someone that. You just kind of have to like dig it out and do it. But
and
I think once
for
you do,
everybody, but
and I don't think you regret it. That's the other thing.
I'd be surprised if anyone ever did.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. It's good to hear your reflection. Thanks for coming out and helping our students.
Of course.
They enjoy having you out there, and we had a good time.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
We sure did.
Thanks for sitting down.
Of course.
See you.